Who's the
Hello
most
and
punctual
welcome to the
person?
Sunday Club. Oh God. Hello, welcome to the Club of Narcissists, led by you know who.
Advaita, don't be so harsh on yourself.
But, and speaking of narcissists, the Congress presidential election is on. They're certainly not people we can accuse of being narcissists because right now it just seems like everyone's doing the Gandhi's bidding as usual, and Mallikarjun Kharge is coming forward as the primary or the winning candidate. A lot of drama, spokespersons resigning, and Mr. Kharge going with Sonia Gandhi to pay respects to Mahatma Gandhi on his Jayanti today. So a lot of signaling going on there. I don't think, I mean, short of the Gandhis sort of anointing him as the Congress president, everything else has been done. So really, the question we're asking today is. How legit is this whole exercise? And let's start with Pallavi because she's in the car as usual and she may lose signal at some point. So I want to get her thoughts in before we move on. Pallavi, please, over to you.
No, I went for Kharge's conference today, and it was a lunch, and when you heard him, it's very apparent that it's a very official candidate. It was an official press conference, actually hosted and organized by the Congress's media department. First of all, Jairam Ramesh was there. Then there were people from the communications department micromanaging it. Then you're on stage with sitting with Kharge, were people like Dipendra Hooda, Nasir Hussain, and there was that Gaurav Vallabh, who remember the few days back was reprimanded because he had said that Tharoor is not much of a candidate. He's the one who's written a letter to Mrs. Gandhi when she was in hospital.
Hmm.
I mean, I asked him a couple of questions, others asked him, and he kept on saying that I was told to contest these elections because the Gandhis were not. And ideally, Tharoor should actually, I think there should be a consensus candidate, but now no one can stop Tharoor from contesting and so on and so forth. So I think it is pretty much clear after this, whatever they may say, because I remember Jairam was most upset with all of us when we were asking this question that why do we think he's an unofficial official candidate. I think today's press conference made it very clear. I've been noticing it in the last 2 days. The entire party has been behind Kharge, organizing his press conferences, reaching out to the media. Tharoor, we don't get to know anything about his press conferences from the Congress party. We only come to know about it from Tharoor's office himself. I mean, he's the one who's campaigning. Salman Soz is the one, his election agent, giving us information. Also, interestingly, challenging Kharge to have a debate with Shashi Tharoor. I know Tharoor projecting himself as the man of change. So it's very clear that Tharoor is pretty much on his own, and Kharge has the entire Congress party with him. So I'm very cynical now, and I'm convinced that he's the chosen one.
Wow. Suhel, what do you think? Do you agree with Pallavi? Have you been watching this? Do you feel the same?
I think it's a shame, and the Congress should do Maro if they can, even at this hour. It's an absolute shame. I'd said this on your program earlier that these jokers are farcical in nature. This is nothing but a charade. You have made a monkey out of your own party. Whether it's Kharge or Bharge or Darge, I don't care. The point is that you have willy nilly destroyed every iota of even the shred of truth or transparency that people believed you had. Mrs. Gandhi has mud on her face. Well, Rahul Gandhi has so much on his face, so a little bit of more of egg won't help or detract. I think it is abominable. I don't know what Shashi will do. If I were him, I would leave the Congress because this is nothing other than reprehensible shamelessness coming from the highest quarters. And this is one thing that the Gandhis can't say, oh, hame malum nahi tha. They know
Yeah.
everything. Subterfuge is their birthmark. Manipulation is what they've been born with. And now worse comes to worse. Here was a man, is a man, utterly decent, went to you, said that I'm standing for election. You said, yes, you must. And then you do all this nonsense. I mean, it makes backstabbing as a word look like kindergarten. So I really don't know. And look, the point is, this is who they are. You have to understand the DNA of the Congress. Rasheed has written many books, but I don't think he's a DNA specialist. And he's too kind to them. Their DNA is about subterfuge. Their DNA is about Raja and drunk. Their DNA is flawed. They're not human or humane. There's something radically wrong with this family if they behave the way they do, and if they have behaved in this particular way at this particular time. Yeah, this country is not going to forgive. The country is already forgotten, so there's no part of forget or forget because the country has forgotten them. But is this the way you treat people of your own party? Third time member of parliament, that too from the Lok Sabha, hasn't been a recipient of your crumbs, hasn't been a kitchen cabinetier, hasn't been a loyalist of that order.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what you bring people to. So now are you surprised that Sindhya left? Are you surprised that Prasada left? Are you surprised RPN Singh left? The Congress is nothing but a funicular of hatred, manipulation, and guile. People are feeling suffocated in it, and the sooner they leave, the better it is. The people of India have already left the Congress a long time ago. Now it only remains for the people in the Congress to leave the Congress.
Rasheed, I'm very young, but you and Suhel have definitely watched.
No, you're not that young, so don't make us as if we are very old. By saying, oh, I'm very young.
You have obviously
Don't
watched
be
an
Asian.
AICC president election. I can't recall having seen one or been that interested in it in any case. So is this par for the course? Like, one person becomes the anointed one and then the other people are just kind of treated so shabbily, because that's what we're seeing in the present circumstance.
I think, Advita, we must remember that the Congress being in power for 54 years since the independence, they have developed, many congressmen have developed that art of politicking, palace intrigue, sazish, all kind of thing, utapatak, pitting one against another, and being clever by half. So most of them are past masters of this. They may be losing election, but they have not lost a touch. And whether it is what happened in Rajasthan, what's happening in AICC, it's actually quite a fascinating story of this, that how chances are cut. And with the party, any political party, when it's in the opposition, it shows its true character, a character of the people, the principal players. I think so, one can go on criticizing the Congress and Gandhi till the cows come home. See, Sonia Gandhi is very good. Still, she's very good when it comes to making a self-assessment, making a judgment about herself, about her family. The way she declined the party post that was offered to her way back in '91. Her act of renunciation in 2004, her stand on office of profit. But when it comes to the Congress, she gets very much overwhelmed by this perceived hierarchy, the kind of pressure group, the kind of interest group that work and function. And as a result, the outcome always tends to be, you can say horrible. And that is something, that is what has happened in Jaipur a few days ago, and that's what has happened at AICC. I think we also miss this point that organizational election, it's a misnomer in itself. See, Mr. Madhusudan Mistry was appointed by Sonia Gandhi. Anybody who's a block, functionary or block level member was either appointed by Sonia Gandhi or by Rahul Gandhi since 2017. So the entire college, electoral college, actually, has a sense of loyalty and belonging uh, to the Congress and whoever is representing the political leadership. This is something that many outsiders are not able to understand and forget about appreciating it. So organizational elections, I always say, Advita, if you go, and Pallavi has been there every day, see, if you enter the Congress party office, there are some barracks that go back to Narasimha Rao's time, and in that there is a very small room which cannot even accommodate 5-6 people. And what is that? That nameplate? What it says? It says Office of the Central Election Authority of the Congress. There is no unit in any state. I mean, Pallavi would correct me if I am wrong. See, there is no infrastructure. So you cannot have, free and fair election. And this must be understood. And
So
it has no correlation with electoral politics also. Mr. Narendra Modi has not been a party president even for a single day. Can anybody in the census can say that, no, Mr. Modi is not a BJP leader? Of course, he is first among equals. Nehru was Congress president barely for 6 years in his entire 4 decades. Indira Gandhi was there for 9 years. So this is a thing. I know what is happening. I think Sonia Gandhi has missed this thing. She doesn't understand what people expect out of Congress or Congress leadership, and that Mr. Suhel said. I mean, in his choicest of language, he's a colorful one. He's right in saying that. So I think there is a big difference. The Congress is totally oblivious of the existing realities, what the country or society or media is expecting, and there is a huge communication gap. And they have this old school that whatever we do is fine. There is a Dalit and all that, 10 times MLA, so and so and all that. They go on that, वो जो कहते हैं ना पुराने ढर्रे पे चल रहे हैं, पुरानी चाल पे चल रहे हैं. And that's so Congress is allergic to change. That criticism is very apt and fair. Nothing beyond that.
Now, my next question to all of you is Shashi Tharoor is obviously, from his pronouncements at least, taking this very seriously. He's made a direct appeal and said that, I am the face of change. With Mr. Kharge, you're going to get more of the same. And it's going to be like a status quoist situation. Now, do you buy that argument from Mr. Tharoor, Dr. Tharoor, or not? Or is it going to be hard for him also to do any change? If Rahul Gandhi struggled, then do you think Dr. Tharoor is going to have a better shot at it? Suhel and then everyone else.
Absolutely not. Kharge will not change even the curtains in the Congress. He's that wedded to the old world Congress. You think they don't know that about Kharge? Remember one thing. Kharge, the difference between Kharge and Tharoor is standing for Congress presidentship. Kharge is passing yet another loyalty test. कि देखिए मैडम मैंने फिर एक और लॉयल्टी टेस्ट पास कर लिए. Kharge would be nothing without the Gandhis. Shashi Tharoor was something without the Gandhis. His career, now you might say he's a 10-term MLA, big deal. So, if you win from safe seats, Rahul Gandhi, despite doing nothing in Amethi, won. The Gandhi family won from Raebareli and Amethi doing sweet, deadly jack. So please don't tell me that he's a 10-term MLA and therefore he's a great guy and all that. And A, B, what I'm deeply upset about is how they use the Dalit card, which is very unfair on Ambedkar ji, on the Dalit movement in India, to say, oh, because he's a Dalit. I'm saying there are many, many, many Dalits who are meritorious in their own right and do not need to be defined as a prefix with that. Mm-hmm. For instance, our Honorable President. I respect Mrs. Murmu because she's the President of India, not because she's the Dalit President of India. So,
tribal. Tribal. Dalit was tribal. Yes.
She was. I stand correct. Point I'm making is that we cannot have the Congress run amok this way, but the Congress has chosen to. The Congress has decided long ago that they don't really care about any of us. They may care a bit about Rasheed and a little bit more about Pallavi. That's if she ever reaches on time. But for the rest, they don't care.
Yeah.
We're not in their orbit. No one is in their orbit. The people of India are not in their orbit. They are, I don't know which planet they are encircling, but it's certainly not ours. And Tharoor has actually made a serious attempt to bring about some level of, legitimacy to this election. He's asked for a debate. Kharge will never debate. Why? For two reasons. One is Kharge will be wiped. Number two, Kharge, if you listen to Kharge now, you can't understand which language he's speaking in. He's the only person who speaks in 3 languages at the same time. Number two, they will not debate with Tharoor because it will make Tharoor equal to them. They actually believe they're above Tharoor, which to my mind is so sad. But here's a person who he did the usual thing. He went for the Ashirwad, went for the blessings, got Mrs. Gandhi to say, yes, you must stand for election. And then this is the way they treat the election. Sad.
Pallavi, do you think they're threatened by Tharoor? I mean, he's not young. He's 66 himself. So, Pallavi, you're on mute. Okay, Pallavi is now frozen. Rasheed, do you think they're threatened by Dr. Tharoor? Same question to you. He's not a young guy. He's 66.
Far from it. Mr. Tharoor, if you remember, got his kind of political legitimacy and given a chance to contest from Trivandrum thanks to the
Hmm.
support of very active, pronounced support from Sonia Gandhi, from Dr. Manmohan Singh, and so to say from 10 Janpath. Otherwise, it would was very difficult. Anybody who knows familiar about Kerala politics, Mr. Tharoor, even now in terms of hierarchy, party structure, he is not even among the to the top five leaders, Congress leaders from Kerala. So this is the thing, Mr. Tharoor, very in a very smart way and a dignified way, is trying to bridge that gap. See, there is a huge thing. There is a Congress A team which has P. Chidambaram, Digvijay Singh, Ambika Soni, and several. I can go on, giving names of those people. Then there are B team, C team. So Mr. Tharoor comes. Actually, he is not in. He's not leader of the Congress party in Lok Sabha, which he should. He is not a member of Congress working committee. So he is trying to bridge that gap. He wants to be some kind of Hillary Clinton, with Barack Obama. Now I let me try to explain because we need, having this discussion for the benefit of, hundreds and thousands of viewers and listeners that Advita Kala has. See, what is the Congress game plan? It looks like a very, as Mr. Suhel is making it out to be a kind of hopeless case. It is exact. It is not. If you look at, deeply, and the Congress, if you look at the map of India, is not in a position to win any state. Do you think that they're going to win in Gujarat? Do you think they're going to win in Himachal? I mean, today a poll survey has come and it's shown Congress behind, the BJP win in Himachal. They are going. So the Congress wants to get hold of states. Now again, Karnataka is the only state where the Congress has a fighting chance if they get these things right. And once you win Karnataka, and there is already government in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, there is some kind of equity is there. So they are trying to build that equity, and in that Mr. Kharge is a part and parcel. Mr. Kharge can remember, if we say that he's a loyalist, he can always pave way for someone else closer to 2024 and all. It sounds all this absurd, but I'm saying that there is a method in this madness. Please don't write off just because you may not like person X, Y, Z. I mean, there are a number of people I can go on, describing Mr. Suhel is saying that he speaks three languages in a similar way. I mean, we had a Congress president and prime minister who knew 12 and 13 languages, but he could not make up his mind in any. We had
He was one of your
Mr.
most successful prime ministers.
No, no,
He was
that's
one
what
of
I'm
your
saying.
most
We had
successful
we
prime
had
ministers
another Congress
who you
president.
did not have the decency,
No, no,
who you did not have the decency to allow his corpse to come into the
no, no,
Congress
no. I
headquarters.
we,
It
we can we
shows
can
you,
debate
it
we
shows
can
you,
debate about Narasimha Rao.
Rashid, it shows which
Like,
side of the fence you are on. That
no, 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 no.
no,
I'm
one
telling
minute.
you I'm telling
You
the
have just
factual part.
mentioned Narasimha Rao. I'm
No, no,
telling
no.
you
You're
the
prejudging.
fact that you
I
mentioned
didn't even
Narasimha
name Mr.
Rao
Narasimha Rao.
and you said
Suhel,
that
You
he
you
why,
made
spoke
why
you
three
made
did
a
you
languages,
case for
he
you
presided
made a
over the
case for
communist
no, no, no.
Suhel,
Please
liberalization of
allow
India.
me.
Suhel, let
Aditya,
Rashid
I
finish.
need your protection.
A
Let Rashid
protection
finish.
is what? What can she protect you?
I was only making a case of, in the political arena there have been many people who have had severe linguistic limitations, and Mr. Kharge is not an exception. I said that there was a
You
person who
see,
was
no, we
prime
don't
minister
mean that.
and Congress president who knew many languages but could not make up his mind in any. And there was also a Congress president, K. Kamraj, who would invariably speak in Tamil because he would not speak in either Hindi or English. And he played a very monumental role in the history of Congress, as anybody
Yes.
would look for. And Mr. Just to conclude, Mr. Kamraj, in the end of the day, when of course Indira Gandhi kind of edged him out, elbowed him out, you know what he used to say? He used to say he was short in stature, so he would say, big man's daughter, small man's mistake. That it was
You know,
Mr. He
obviously,
so
sarcasm and satire has gone out of the window in this country. When I said he speaks three languages at the same time, I meant he's also equally triple forked as far as tongue is concerned. I couldn't be bothered whether he speaks Tamil well or Kannada well or Bengali well. That's not my issue. The
Hmm.
issue is about erudition and clarity, which Kharge has less compared to Tharoor. It doesn't matter
that
how
has
many
never
elections.
been a strong point.
Huh?
That has never been a strong point in Indian politics.
It's,
Have you
it's
heard?
quite
Have you heard
evident.
how Mr. Mulayam
Now
Singh
let
is?
me come to
No,
Narasimha
no, no,
Rao. Now
no,
let me
no.
come to
Have
Narasimha
you
Rao.
heard Mr. Mulayam
One of the
Singh Yadav
best
speak? Have you
politicians.
heard Mr. Sharad Pawar speak? Have you heard Mr.
Yeah,
Devagowda speak?
of
What?
course.
Have you heard Mr. Pranab Mukherjee speak?
Yeah, so every mistake doesn't entitle the other mistake to be accepted.
My dear friend,
I
Guruji,
mean, what
Ustad.
logic is that?
No,
If
no,
oratory
please,
would make you prime ministers,
no,
I'd
no.
be the best prime minister in the country. So please, I know exactly
That is
what the
why you.
basics of oratory are. I'm not getting there. Don't be so didactic in your understanding or assimilation of what I'm saying. I want to end by saying this is the reality of the Congress. Rasheed is reflective of that reality. Narasimha
No,
Rao
अब रशीद को
chose
Because
लपेट कर.
decision. Yeah, one
हाँ.
minute. One minute. He ran a 5-year government.
who,
Number two,
Rashid?
not Rasheed. Yeah, Rasheed won't even run a 5-year
Personal
Durga Puja
circle,
Sammelan.
Rashid only.
Let me finish here. Don't be facetious about something that I'm
Okay,
about.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
He ran a great government. Liberalization happened then. He allowed people to take decisions. Some of the finest CEOs don't take decisions because they allow the decision either to be postponed in order for fermentation or allow their operatives to take it. Big deal. But how did the Congress treat Narasimha Rao? How does this Congress treat Narasimha Rao to this day? Let's not fool each other.
We'll
Okay,
have that debate.
can I just
Let's
add
not
in
fool each
a
other.
bit
It's a
before my
family-run
signal goes off
enterprise.
again?
Yeah.
No,
People
can I
want
just
you
add
also
a bit?
already.
See, I think we are being very unfair to Shashi Tharoor when we say that the Gandhis gave him a chance. I think that was true the first time round. The second two times, I have seen him actually slog it out. The problem
Correct.
is that it's not been an election, it's not been a good election the last time round. He was virtually losing. Thiruvananthapuram is a very urban constituency, and that's where BJP and left have started making inroads. But more than that, the problem for Shashi Tharoor did not come from outside. The problem from Shashi Tharoor has always come in from inside. Even in a place like today, the Congress's Kerala unit have been very scathing public in their comments against Shashi Tharoor. You may have your likes and dislikes, but he's in your state. Second thing is that when Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra went through Kerala, just about everyone from Kerala Congress was being welcomed. Shashi Tharoor went once or twice next to Rahul Gandhi. The effort was being shown. And this man actually goes to his constituency every weekend. He has an
Correct.
excellent team, and I vouch for it because he has an excellent team which works from Delhi and from Thiruvananthapuram. And he's always there. He comes up with new ideas because he understands that Thiruvananthapuram is also a very aspirational kind of a society. There are lots of young people, and he appeals to them. So I think first time round you can say the Gandhis did him a favor. I think second and third time round he definitely earned it. And second, I was there. I was there, Rasheed, the day the nomination papers were filed. I'm sorry, that's no way to treat anyone. He walked in all alone. He was accompanied by a Salman Soz, and a Karti Chidambaram comes in later. The media department people were standing there at the gate. They looked the other way because they felt, he's not the official person. Kahin Gandhi Parivar ya koi aur naraz nahi ho jayega. He goes alone with his drums to the nomination room, files it, comes out, goes home to do the press conference. And when we made this an issue, then they put it out in the Congress's WhatsApp media group, pictures of his nomination. I knew that Kharge was coming. How? Because suddenly Salman Khurshid, Kumari Shelja, all of them come in. And half an hour of Shashi Tharoor filing his nomination paper, Kumari Shelja goes on record to say, in the fitness of things, Tharoor should withdraw. That's
Step
so
aside. Yeah.
unfair. Because what happens is, you are rubbishing Sonia Gandhi's own line that anyone has a right to contest. Let him contest, let him lose. You think he's a fool? He knows he's going to lose. But he just wants to make a point. And in private, many of his people tell us that we know we may not get a ticket the next time round from the Congress party. There is an intrigue which is going on against him. Tharoor has, I think Tharoor has, I don't want to be sounding like a fangirl, but the fact is that he's emerged a little bit beyond the Congress party. Today, people know Shashi Tharoor, not just because he's a Congress MP,
Correct.
but because of many other reasons. Excellent traction on media. And also, last word, I know a very top Congress leader. I said, why is it that you people have a problem with Tharoor? He says, he doesn't criticize the BJP enough. I said, but he does. He takes on the BJP and takes on the Prime Minister. He said, नहीं उसका भाषा थोड़ा सा स्वाव है, वो नहीं चलता राजनीति में. So that's the point. I mean, they don't like the fact that he praises the Prime Minister for his Hindi, or he says, the Prime Minister involved him in Bharat Abhiyan. I mean, road. And I'm telling you, I was there today. It was sad. Actually, it is sad because of the entire party being Kharge. From organizing the lunch, reaching out to journalists, the media department being there, and pretending and laughing it off as
There you are.
normal. हम सबके लिए करते हैं. Till now, the Congress WhatsApp media group, not a single picture of Shashi Tharoor campaigning has come out. Whereas we've been bombarded with pictures of Kharge. So how is he not the official person? Then you tell me.
Hmm.
And to be honest,
Yeah, it's a farce, yeah, Advaita. Are you on drugs that you can't realize this?
I'm being the anchor. I'm not being the
So why
opinion
you
maker.
not having? You also have an opinion. You can't just be a dumb
Of
anchor.
course, I think it's a
Have an
farce. I
opinion.
said it already. It's total farce. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind about that. But yeah, but like Rasheed knows the history of these elections and the different dramatis personae involved at different times. So I'm keen to understand whether it's always been like this, where it's been so uneven and imbalanced a contest. Because right now, just from the outside, one can see that the Gandhis, and because of the Gandhis, the entire Congress establishment and institutional support that needs to be given is being given only to Kharge, and Shashi Tharoor is being treated like, I don't know, a stepchild, I guess. But just, I don't even know why he's running, frankly.
No, no, Advita, I think we are reading too much. I think the entire Congress party, that beta department, all those things that Pallavi Ghosh was mentioning, they are doing a favor to Mr. Shashi Tharoor. Shashi Tharoor is finding far more traction, as we all understand, within the party and outside, which was not possible if he was given a kind of, so to say, not so much step motherly treatment and equal kind of treatment. See, today is Gandhi Jayanti. One of the quotes of Gandhi in Hindi is that sorry, one of the
Yeah.
quotes of the Mahatma Gandhi in Hindi is that कभी कभी हम अपने विरोधियों के कारण आगे बढ़ते हैं. Mr. Shashi Tharoor, as I see it, has a fabulous chance to consolidate. As I had said in my previous remark, that he is consolidating his position within the Congress and outside. And he is becoming, by fighting this election, he is bridging that gap that he had with Mr. P. Chidambaram and several others, so to say, those towering leaders who go back to Indira Gandhi time and Rajiv Gandhi time, etc. So that is one thing. Second thing is that we must remember, because you asked me about the history. In 1997, Mr. Rajesh Pilot, who was also a kind of had a goodwill like Mr. Shashi Tharoor of today, he fought against Sitaram Kesri. If I remember correctly, I think out of that entire that 9,000 votes, Kesri ji got 6,600 something, and 2,000 something votes were won by Mr. Sharad Pawar, and some 320, 354 votes were won by Mr. Rajesh Pilot. But Rajesh Pilot's stature went up several notches, and he became Congress. Casely had to accommodate him in the Congress Working Committee. Of course, Mr. Pilot, unfortunately, he died in a road accident. Otherwise, he had a very bright future, and that's why we are talking about him. So what I'm saying is, these are the game. Look, the Congress is on a very, I would say, the critical juncture. There are a lot of forces at work within and outside. I don't rule out to 2024, before or after, some kind of split, a vertical split. There would be, you see, if the Gandhis actually fail, then you will see that there will be leadership. Then nobody is going to look at the other contender, and that's where Mr. Shashi Tharoor would be holding some kind of pole position. Try to understand. Don't be dismissive. Look at the dynamics. And he's not in a hurry. See,
Yeah.
he's enjoying this attention, by the way, and he would do everything to maximize it till October 17th.
Hmm. 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 Well, that's interesting. So basically, Rashid, what you're saying, and Suhel and Pallavi can come in on this, is that it's not only about this presidential election for Tharoor. Strategically, it's quite possible that he is anticipating some sort of split in the Congress, and he
No,
will
he's
have
not.
then.
He
I
is
don't
not.
know whether
I
he's
said that.
going to talk about a split, but look at the people who are by his side, who are endorsed him. I mean, there's Karti Chidambaram. Again, he's been very, very vocal about the way the party runs. Sandeep Dixit, again, very critical. Salman Soz. There's an axis which is being formed. To that extent, I do agree with Rashid. And this election could just be the stepping stone to that. I would say the split, in the sense, is already happening because there's a loyalist who's clearly, you show your loyalty. I mean, 9,000 delegates will technically speaking, can vote the way they want to. But I think the word is very clear. Even Pramod Tiwari, for example, is now going to be campaigning from Kharge. He has a grip over at least 1,000 of those delegates of Uttar Pradesh. Certainly, the message he's going to send across to them: "कि आप vote करना, Kharge को करना vote." that's a silent messaging. The Chinese whispers which goes on, that who you're supposed to vote for. And with that QR code and all that kind of stuff, it's going to become very, very clear where, the delegates are going, where they're showing the loyalty. So look at the kind. And, today was just technically the first day of Tharoor campaigning. But look what he said. You vote for Kharge, you won't change things. You vote for me, you're going to change things. I think over the next few
Absolutely.
days, as Kharge also enters the field, tomorrow he goes to Karnataka and starts campaigning. There will be people from the Congress party who start bashing Tharoor. There'll be, and I don't know, I would want to say how many people actually support Tharoor and how many people actually criticize Kharge. Those who want to be on the right side of the Gandhi and the right side of the party will not criticize Kharge at this point of time. And none of them will even say that, I think Tharoor has given a chance. Even that oblique support to him will not be given. Ab dekho na, you just look at the social media timeline of most of the people of the Congress party, how they reacted to Kharge and how they're reacting to Tharoor.
A lot of
Rasheed is right. The split is
Yeah.
already happening, and I think there's some plan which is already brewing. Maybe this is the thing that they were waiting for the change. Interesting for me was that Manish Tiwari and Anand Sharma decided not to vote
not to,
for
yeah.
They backed Kharge. But then also Manish's constituency has a large number of Dalits, so he's also worried about that. I guess maybe that's the reason. Because, but but many people in the so-called G23 and those who are close to Tharoor are very upset about the fact that what Tharoor has stood for was something which the G23 was all about. And you talk about transparency in the electoral rolls, you want to have organization election, which is something Manish and
And
Anand Sharma used to fume about. And look, they were not there. They drive in,
what
after Tharoor leaves.
what Pallavi
Rasheed,
is saying that G23 become G Huzur, JIG.
Yeah. But at least Manish and wo to ho gaya. Manish and Anand were G Hazur that day.
Arun Rao is asking, is there a brother-sister rivalry? This keeps coming up, and every time it's dismissed. But do you think the brother and sister, there is a rivalry there? Or everyone says it's between their teams, but is it between the two of them as well?
Rivalry over what? The elections?
In general, over the party, the control of the party, all of that.
I don't know. I mean, I think they do have difference of opinions over a couple of things, and I think that's fair. Just because your brother and sister are not supposed to agree. The team, yeah. I mean, they often. I mean, we are just beat reporters, so we are privy. I'm not like an editor. As far as the Congress is covered, I am the beat reporter for them. And sometimes they let their guard off, Sometimes no, these days they are not. These days they call me, like today only I was called Sangi, you're on the other side and this and that. But, I they let off the guard and sometimes it comes across, there is a difference of opinion, I would say. And definitely the team. And then, see, I also don't blame the team because Priyanka's team will obviously be in competition with an RG's team. And many people would call it a conflict or rivalry. I would call it just competition. But to us, it looks like a very confused picture because koi PG ka team kuch keh raha hai, RG ka team is saying something else. So yeah, that kind of stuff.
Rasheed, what about you? Do you think they have a rivalry, or it's just overactive imaginations?
दिल को बहलाने का ख्याल अच्छा है. देखिए, there is a story. देखिए क्या हुआ कि जब King Solomon or Prophet Solomon, when he died, see, nobody came to know that he is dead because he had a lot of jinns, etc. in his captivity. So finally, termites set in, and he used to have a stick that he was holding on. So when the termite got it on the top, when his stick fell, then this all these people who were from they realized that Solomon is dead. That is a kind of grip that exists in the Congress. So I don't think in the Congress nobody would know. You see, if there is a real rivalry or a tension or anything like that among Gandhi siblings. I think it's just a matter of conjecture, some kind of whisper, some kind of things we get, but we would never get to know for sure. It will take a lot of time. Once Gandhis are out of politics, out of Congress, perhaps we'll have enough material to write a book.
Suhel, I want to ask you, every time we do a discussion on the Congress, a lot of viewers come heavily down on me, usually, saying that, why are you discussing the Congress? They're done and dusted. You have to focus on the up. You need to understand the up. They are the real challenger. Do you believe this? Do you think we're paying too much attention to the Congress?
See, yes and no. Yes, because they are becoming increasingly irrelevant. No, because they're the only pan India party other than the BJP, in a manner of speaking. They may not win a state, but they have a presence. Now, whether their presence helps them win, but that's because, as I said, they're absolute duffers as far as I'm concerned, especially under this new dispensation. But having said
गरीब की
that,
जोड़ू सबकी भाभी,
eh,
गरीब की जोड़ू सबकी भाभी.
I'm not very familiar with vernacular analogies such as those.
Oh dear.
It's vast. But the point I'm making is that I don't genuinely believe that you can be without them. Having said that, I think it's important to discuss Aam Aadmi. Aam Aadmi is playing a disruptive role. They have two states in less than 10 years or maybe 12 years of existence. So you've got to cut them some slack. Having said that, as I said earlier on one of your shows, when they had the Bharat Jodo Yatra, to have it at that time, to have these elections at the same time, you were eating into the media attention of each other. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
someone is really daft in the Congress, and I don't know who it is because, there's an old saying कि हर शाख पे अगर उल्लू बैठा है अंजामे गुलिस्तान क्या होगा. That's a bit of vernacular.
That is. That is. What about you, Rashid? I mean, how threatened is the Congress by the AAP? Or are they still sort of more threatened by each other?
Again, you see, Advita, we have to, yes, there is a threat, and all political parties are threat to each other. It depends upon, voters and how they, what is their voting behavior. We must remember another thing from history. When the great Mughals lost out, the last emperor in the public perception was Aurangzeb, who died in 1705, 1706. But the Mughal Empire continued till 1857, till Bahadur Shah Zafar. How many of us, I don't want to, question general knowledge or our sense of history. How many, kings or emperors we remember between after Aurangzeb till Bahadur Shah Zafar?
Hmm. Hmm.
Please respond.
I mean, no, no, you're right. I
So,
agree with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
There were dozens of them. There was this, there were three Bahadur Shah, there was Shah Alam, and there were Farrukh Sayar, and there were several others were there. I mean, one can
Hmm.
go on in chronological order. What I'm saying is, it takes a lot of time. I think the news of Congress demise is extremely exaggerated. I mean, I know I have played with this Mark Twain's quote, but this is what, and long and short of it, the Congress will exist, but in a different ways and shape, as Pallavi was also saying. You see, look at what happened to Janta Party. After Janta Party, there was Janta Dal, and then there was Janta Dalization. So Janta Dal it still exists in something or other. If you look at the Samajwadi Party, if you look at RJD, if you look at JDS, if you look at several other parties across India. So I think the Congress would always exist in Mamata Banerjee, in Jagan Mohan Reddy. In if you look at Trinamool Party constitution, it is very very similar to the Congress constitution. So I am saying that this will leadership would change. Someone can argue that Indira Congress is not that original Congress.
Hmm.
I mean, what
Hmm.
was known as Congress O,
Yeah,
which there
correct.
was a
I
split
would
in
say that.
1960.
I would say that. Yeah.
But just taking off from what Rashid said, the behavior through this election, whether the election is important, not important, irrelevant. What you're seeing is the primacy of the family. That primacy has not diminished, it has not declined, it is still there. Number two, you're also seeing the behavior which is very Raja and Rank like. राजा तय करेगा कि रंग से कब वो बात करे, not the other way around.
ये तो अमिताभ बच्चन का कॉपीराइट है.
मैंने ही आपको बोला था, छोड़िए ना. So don't quote me to me. Okay. Now,
I think we should just put the two of them on screen.
no, and the third thing is, which is
Already.
very important. Thank you for the interruption again. The third thing, which is very important, is there is no one willing to get rid of the Gandhis. No one. They all suddenly fall in line. You have the G23, that 23 becomes zero. Three people leave the Congress. There's nothing. It's almost as if the Gandhis can make no mistake. that the Gandhis cannot do anything, that the Gandhis cannot, what should I say, that the Gandhis cannot not run the Congress. Now, you tell me, how does it work this way? And do you really think that there's hope? Because you tell me, after the way Shashi has been treated, which self respecting person would be willing to sacrifice a career in politics at the altar of the Congress?
Hmm. Pallavi, the examples Rasheed gave of successes who still have Congress, the spirit of Congress living in them, be it Jagmohan Reddy or Mamta Banerjee or Sharad Pawar. It's becoming a longer and longer list. All these people have done so when they've kind of put distance between themselves and the Gandhis, when they've challenged the Gandhis in some measure. So, which brings me to Suhel's question. Like, why is nobody willing to take on the Gandhis in the Congress of today? And the only option seems to be is to break away and form your own party and then take them on. And a side note, there's rumor that Vasundhara Raje might be joining the Congress.
Eh?
So,
Oh God.
Rashid,
No.
Pallavi, I don't know. I mean, somewhere it came somewhere.
That I
Well,
would.
suicide has many definitions, as does harakiri.
Yeah, I mean, Congress for now, me in Rajasthan is a sinking ship. I mean, like it has to be a miracle if Gehlot and is able to bring it back. So I think
Yeah,
today's
I mean,
comments was very shrewd, very smart. He just goes on to show that why perhaps he should have been the president of the party. Matlab, he just played it back, did not take names. But just to come back to it, why they don't take on the Gandhis, but they do. Many of them have done, but they leave. And the G23 began with the idea of camouflaging it with, like we're doing it for the welfare of the Gandhis. But they did take on. But many of them brokered peace with them. I mean, Mukul Vasnik suddenly did, and others slowly. But I also don't think it's entirely for the love of the Gandhis. Some of them who don't want to take on the Gandhis is because they also know they don't have the competence to take on anybody for that matter, just as the Gandhis. On their own, what will they do? What are they without the party? Kitne log unme se hai who can actually win elections on their own? And for many of them, it's actually a way of staying politically relevant. And that political relevance can come in not just by contesting elections, but by holding a post in the party, in the organization, something in the parliament, as an advisor to this and an advisor to that. I mean, or becoming a spokesperson or a panelist. I think because some of them feel that हम कहीं और जा नहीं सकते, यहीं रहना है, so might as well make peace with the Gandhis. Not all of them love the Gandhis, and I think at one level I feel sad, and I think that's the reason why there's a trust deficit with the Gandhis and particularly the siblings, and particularly Rahul Gandhi has for most of his colleagues and even of the media, because he feels I'm always let down, and like these people backstab me, so we won't trust them. And that's the reason he's trying to build up his coterie, which everyone does, I guess, to a certain amount of time. But Sonia Gandhi also, I mean, Rasheed knows this better than me. Sonia Gandhi had her own reason that much more powerful ones to distrust the people, but she had her own way of handling it. She was more consensual. She used to talk. She compromised, and she has a way of getting a point of view across. Rahul Gandhi is very staccato kind of a talking, like, I hope my English is correct, Suhel, but he has that style of dealing with things, my way or
is
the
he
highway.
monosyllabic or
I'm
whatever?
very scared of Suhel. Nowadays, when I write something on Twitter, I'm very nervous.
After he called Bagel Bagel, I think he's lost all street cred.
I mean, bagel, whatever.
Oh, right. And this 48-hour, just a little segue into this, because this really had us interested. When KC Venugopal came out of the meeting with Sonia Gandhi and said in 48 hours we'll have a new CM. Has there been any development on that front?
No. 4 दिन 4 दिन हो गए ना. He said 1-2 दिन में होगा, but now it's 4 days. And I know someone from the Congress told me no CLP meeting in a hurry. हम ठंडा होने देते हैं मामला. Look at the way Ashok Gehlot was talking today. There's also an Invest in Rajasthan kind of a seminar or some program event coming up. His pictures are there. He's asked for some advice on how to go ahead with the budget. He's very unruffled. I mean, today was he's so confident. He said, "ये बात जानना बहुत जरूरी है," and it's very interesting soundbite. That why is it that a one-line resolution could not be passed? Why is it that the MLAs are not listening to me? Why is it that these MLAs are worried that if I go away to Delhi, what will happen to them? He won't speak. I mean, he spoke so confidently, so shrewdly, without taking Ajay Makan's name. He just gave it back to him.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. And Rashid, you were saying something. Please go ahead.
No, no, I was saying in the, I remembered a kind of thing when you were saying, that why nobody contest against, takes on Gandhis and all. So I was just reminded of a thing when Jitendra Prasad was contesting against Sonia Gandhi, and he came, as we know, that Jitendra Prasad came from Uttar Pradesh, so he had some pockets of support. So there's one particular MP, member of parliament, was very pro Jitendra Prasad. So me and Mr. Javed Ansari, we met that particular MP in a mosque just opposite Parliament House. Okay, when where former President Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad is buried. So we asked that MP. He said, "So what side are you going to go? I mean, now there is an election between Jitendra Prasad and Sonia Gandhi." Look at that reply, rather blasphemous, I would say, from that Congress MP. He says, "अरे कोई अल्लाह मियाँ से लड़ता है?" So I'm saying this is a culture and the DNA that Mr. Suhel said is talking about. So it's very difficult unless you see the Gandhis, make an exit from the Congress. They will go on. The Congress is very good at it. Look at you see. I can give you a lot of examples. The Congress instinctively, Congress leaders side with the leader till it is necessary. I keep saying the man who coined the slogan, huh, uh, uh, Indra is India, Indra is India, and India is Indra. See, in 1978, when Shah Commission was formed, Mr. Devkant Barua went and deposed against Indira Gandhi. This is the level of political loyalty. I am tempted to make a lot of comments that I have compiled about Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad and what he had said about Sonia Gandhi, but I will leave it for some other day.
Everyone is moving on, as they say.
Don't you
And,
think, Rasheed, barring the Gandhis, no one can actually keep it together? The state of the party is such. आज भी
Yes,
खड़गे
so
का entire press conference went on and on about जो वो लोग बोलेंगे उनका भी word सुनूंगा मैं वो करूंगा Gandhi. Then he kept on praising. We were asking him about A, B, C, and every time he was talking about Rahul Gandhi and Bharat Jodo Yatra. Then we got so fed up, we stopped asking him questions because that's all that was happening.
So there is, you see, you look at on a more serious note. Of course, Mr. Suhel said may not, approve of this line of argument, but that exists in the Congress. So whenever there is an election, other than of course mobilizing resources, etc., you see the kind of campaign that is done is by Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi. For instance, Priyanka in Uttar Pradesh, 206 seats, 206 public meetings. All public meetings were reasonably well attended. It's just that outcome was very bad, just pathetic. In fact, just 2 seats. But in terms of optics, the Congress till the last day had some kind of presence in that arena. Or you look at media, the eyeballs and extra, etc. Priyanka Gandhi did score well on that count. So I have done some study. So what happens that there are I'm talking about the Congress candidates all over the country wherever there is election from Assam to Gujarat or from so to say Tamil Nadu to Kashmir. See, the Gandhis are sought after, and after that, who? You'll be very surprised. See, and there is a kind of there used to be control room and all, which used to compile all these things, requests from the Congress candidates. It would always be for Naujo Sidhu, uh, Govinda, Muhammad Azharuddin, Nagma Murarji, such people. Till the time, I mean, for very briefly, this person was also there. That actress from Maharashtra. Uh, uh, so all those things are sought after. Urmila Matondkar. There is no demand for the great, the members of the Congress Working Committee, except for their, regions or their, or there is an odd person like, this, Sachin Pilot, who has this some traction among youth and among Gujar community, so he can go to Haryana and, Jammu Kashmir and several other places. But very, very limited appeal within the Congress. And that explains why there is a total, the dependency model vis-a-vis Gandhi's.
And that you think is going to, of course, continue. No one is going to really be able to break away from it. So, hey,
See, there is no history. Sorry, just one. There is no history of a failure of a Gandhi. They have all, they have been there till they were
They don't
around,
fail,
or
others fail them.
whatever. No, I'm not making that argument. So I'm saying the Congress is culturally, politically not used to failure of a Gandhi. So when Rahul Gandhi failed and faltered again and again, they do not know how to deal with it. And more than me, Pallavi knows this. There is a lot of disquiet, there is a lot of resentment against Rahul. Somebody may say he's a unconventional politician. Some say, अरे वो ननिहाल की तरफ गए. I mean, somebody told me in Amethi कि वो उनको ननिहाल की तरफ ज्यादा असर है. Okay, that the Diyal was very political. So you can go on making these kind of pronouncements, but it doesn't cut any ice because the congressmen do not have the guts that I give you example of a Congress MP saying telling us in a mosque कि कोई अल्लाह मियां से लड़ता है.
yeah.
That mindset, unless that changes, nothing will happen to Congress. There will be Kharge and Mr. Suhel said can go on criticizing.
This is again, I'm not criticizing. I don't care. The Congress can fall into the Arabian Sea as far as I'm bothered. I don't really care. Neither do I care about the BJP. I care about my country and I care about how politics, which in a democracy should function at least with two, viable, voluble, robust parties, is being deprived because in one, the family is unable to decide whether it should be a family run operation or a professional run operation. That's my only issue. I don't care. I'm not standing for election. I will never join any political party. I will never get a seat. No one will, want me. So I really don't care. We're having a discussion on how India, in its democratic avatar, is being deprived of a robust opposition because of the failings of one particular party, which, by the way, was the grand old party.
Yeah,
this country will survive. Don't worry, Mr. Suhel said country will survive.
Country will survive. I'm talking about democracy here.
Yeah. So Advita, I'm reminded of a thing. When this whole thing, I don't want to get into the politics of it. When the kind of Babri demolition took place, and after that, so Shankar Rao Chavan was the home minister. So Mr. Chavan he was also a big loyalist, a Kharge type character and all. Later on, he gave an interview saying that he went to, as a home minister, he went to Narsimha Rao when this, on the day 6th of December, demolition was taking place. So he said, hey, I went to talk to PV and PV was watching TV. So we asked him, so what did you do? He said, मैं भी TV देखने लग गया. So
yes, Sanjay Maru also mentioned in his book.
So this is the thing. So we had Prime Minister and the Home Minister who were watching TV.
We're confusing the wood for the trees.
Only sharing this because a lot of people ask this. No, he is not Naina Lal Kidwai's husband.
And that poor chap is dead. Rasheed is in blood and flesh in front of us. No, having said that, I think I'm not talking about whether the country will survive. Of course, it will survive. It will survive even tomorrow if we undergo a presidential form of government or whatever. I'm saying here is a great, grand old party, which hopefully may reinvent itself. You never say never in politics.
You never say never in politics, and certainly the Congress is never going to say never to the Gandhis. So I think if this was an attempt to kind of show that they can function without the Gandhis, I think the Gandhis should be very happy because by all accounts, it's very much being perceived, at least by the public, that their appointee is going to be president. So it's more of the same. And I think this has been, of course, a very interesting conversation. Thank you, all of you, for joining us. And AIM didn't join us. He's vanished. He literally confirmed that he was going to be there, but he's just vanished. I cannot believe it. I sent him messages. He's not even replying to messages. It's maybe that's
taking some last word from Mr. Seth.
I know that Mr. Seth launched Kapil Sibbal's book in the last week. So I just want to know how Kapil Sibal...
We didn't launch it. See, again, misnomer. It was a discussion where the book was launched, but we were in conversation. There was no launching.
Okay. This is not you were in conversation with Kapil Sibal. And I want to know, Kapil Sibal's left the Congress and he's in the Rajya Sabha. Do you think he regrets it? Do you think he wishes he was in the Congress and maybe he would have stood
I'll
for
be honest
president?
with you. With a lot of my friends, I never discuss politics. It's a dicey thing, and it's not worth it.
Okay, that was smooth.
No, it's not smooth. It's true. I never discuss what they eat, what they wear, or what they which party they support.
But
Or
I
their
know one thing, that one of the G23 meetings in 2022, Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad had actually turned towards Kapil Sibal Saab and asked कि भाई कुछ constitution वगैरह बनाओ तैयारी करते हैं, to form a new party. And Mr. Sibal was totally outraged. He thought that this is not worth even a try. So, I mean, this is what I had gathered. See, I think on a more serious note, I think you see, just 2 days have passed. The Congress and Gandhis still have a chance. They must come out. I'm talking about the three Gandhis must come out at public forum and say that they are not. This is not a Kesari
Yes,
versus Pawar election. They must say that we are not.
correct.
We are not for this
Yes,
side
that's
or
all
that
they have
side.
to do.
And let there
Yeah.
be a conscience vote. Let the PCC delegate. I think this is the pronouncement would be very good, even if the outcome is 70-30 or 60-40, whatever. At least some kind of Gandhis would get to know that there are 30% or 40% or whatever number people
very true.
want change in the Congress, and I think
Hmm.
this is a very doable thing.
अरे आप
Suhel,
इनको
I think
advice
on our
दीजिए ना.
last show, Suhel on our last show also said that this was an opportunity for the Gandhis to say, okay, we are now part of the Margdarshak Mandal of the Congress. Do you think that's going to happen? I mean, I think it would be a sensible sort of decision, but Rasheed?
No, no, that's what I'm
Rasheed's
saying. So that is, I think that the time has not. It's a real time. Tomorrow, if they can do it, it will be very good because it will bring back that kind of spotlight on the Congress. Remember, if you look at that past week or 10 days, the Congress got a lot of media space. Some of the debates, discussions, including yours, was
yeah.
very kind of constructive, and it got brought Congress back to news. If the Congress has to make this election somewhat, exciting, if not fair. And in that scheme of things, I think a public pronouncement from Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, and to some extent even Priyanka Gandhi would be very useful for them, and it will be kind of course correction. As I said, I mean, there is also a perspective that if if a Dalit loses the Congress president election, the Congress may face consequences. So all kind of arguments can be marshaled. I'm not denying the capability on that count, but I'm saying that the Congress can bring itself back in focus. Imagine if Mr. Digvijay Singh and Kharge and Shashi Tharoor were there, the election would have been very interesting. Again, regardless, whoever would have won, would have been part of the Congress party.
And undoubtedly, I think the Congress does generate interest. There's no denying that. Now, whether post that interest is because people want to market or are genuinely interested in it,
No, some
all
are
said and
genuinely
done,
interested. Let me
yeah,
tell you,
all said and done, it's
a lot of
it's
people are
not.
genuinely interested,
Yeah,
and I can say this. I don't care about the trolls from BJP or from whichever goddamn party. Let me say, you hate him, you love him, but you can't ignore him. What Rahul Gandhi is doing with Bharat Jodo Yatra is getting all the media attention. It's getting traction. Now, you might
And
say it
Vipin,
doesn't have much traction as compared to a Modi rally, sure, but it is getting traction.
which
You would have
reminds
thought
me,
it would.
Rashid, Prashant Kishore is also taking off on a rally, na, for
yeah, it's a
for
yatra time.
Yeah, yeah.
miles.
Now, the
Yeah.
time for Mr. Seth can also take a yatra of a different kind. But I think the success of today's program, at least I find that you brought Mr. Suhel Seth to say, things that Rahul Gandhi would not have heard.
Why? I've said it before on a program. 1 minute. Unlike you, I don't belong to one party. Unlike
No, no,
you.
I don't
Ask
belong to
said
one.
it, no, 1 minute. I've said it to her before
You're
on
back.
this show.
You've gone
You
back to,
2 weeks, two shows
where we
before. No, 1 minute.
357.
We were all getting along till Rashid. You this time it's you.
No,
Till
no.
you kind of injected
2
this.
shows ago, I told her
No, because
this
till the
program.
56 minutes, Mr. Suhel said had a tone and tenor, and the 57th minute
No,
it
yeah,
was
again, see,
momentarily. But
the
I think
problem
this
with
is
you is
the achievement for Rahul.
you're talking now. You're talking like a family loyalist. Here's my point. मेरा क्या लेना देना? They're not leaving anything behind in their will for me.
तो क्या मेरा लेना देना है?
आपका तो लग रहा है ना, क्योंकि आप मेरी बात
नहीं नहीं, आपने 2 मिनट,
मैंने
आपने
जो
1.5 मिनट का हृदय परिवर्तन
मैंने
हुआ
जो
था,
आपत्ति जो मैंने
जो स्वागत योग्य है।
आपत्तिजनक की, मैंने कहा कि ये जो इलेक्शन हो रहा है वो ढोंग इलेक्शन है। मेरा कहना सिर्फ इलेक्शन के ऊपर ही है। और मैंने पहले भी कहा 40वें मिनट पे कि कांग्रेस इज एन ओनली अदर पैन इंडिया पार्टी। पता नहीं आपको ये सुनाई दिया कि नहीं दिया। नंबर 3, मैंने कभी नहीं कहा कि कांग्रेस की रिवाइवल में हम किसी का इंटरेस्ट नहीं होना चाहिए। अरे पहले इंटरेस्ट तो कांग्रेस जो होगा वो होगा। So please don't
Mr.
misread.
Suhel Seth, Mr. Suhel Seth, undoubtedly you have a right to, live and learn as much as I have a right to
I
live and
totally agree
learn.
with you. I've learned so much from you.
आप तो मेरे गुरु हैं, मैं ये कह सकता हूँ।
अरे
I think our viewers said it best. Suhel and Rasheed should go to yatras hand in hand.
But I don't go to any yatra.
नहीं तो अरे जाते रहते हैं, आपको पता नहीं है। सेठ साहब बहुत यात्राओं पे जा चुके हैं।
नहीं, मैं कोई यात्रा वात्रा में जाता
अभी ये समय नहीं है बात करने का।
नहीं, I have no interest, no desire, nothing.
Okay. No, neither of you are going on any yatras. That's been
हाँ,
decided.
पर एक बार मैं अमरनाथ गया था।
अरे दुनिया ही एक सफर है।
एक बार गया था, बट बाय
देखिए कबूला ना। कहाँ से कहाँ गए थे साहब आप?
अब उतना मेरे को याद नहीं है बॉस। हम इन चीजों को इतना आपकी तरह नहीं कि हिस्टोरियन है कि रोड लिखे
dates, place, name.
1997, 1991, Shankara Jawan said this to Narasimha Rao. Narasimha Rao was watching TV. उतना टाइम क्या है? हम आपको ही देखते हैं, कभी आपको देखते हैं, कभी अपने घर को देखते हैं, बस उसी में खुश है।
आप अद्विता को क्यों नहीं देखते?
उनको भी देखते हैं, उनको तो देखना पड़ता है, वो एंकर है।
Tragedy of my life. That's another discussion. But on a serious note, I think the Bharat Jodo Yatra is an effort. I personally am not criticizing it, although I do have my criticisms of the Congress, but I'm not criticizing that in particular, apart from the fact that he met some really strange people. But other than that, I think it takes a lot of effort to walk that much, and he has knee pain now and some blisters and I don't know what not I've been hearing. So all the best. I hope it continues safely. And yeah, I mean, whatever it takes, I guess, because they have AAP knocking on their door, and I think you've got to take that seriously. I mean, the Congress at least should.
Jai Hind.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please subscribe. Would request my panel.
गुस्ताखी माफ।
अरे गुस्ताखी क्या?
We'll have both of you back again. At least
we should. Yeah, we have fun.
To the show, no?
And listen, no one else likes you because they don't turn up, and that Pallavi is always in a car trying to escape from you.
No, this AIM is fraud.
Yatra of a different kind.
Yeah.
Because he says, yeah, I'll be there, and then he's disappeared. But anyway, thank you everybody for watching, and we'll be back with another discussion. And it was fun today. Yeah, see you soon. Like, share, subscribe, share this discussion for those who will be interested in this conversation. I don't know why Rasheed's camera is pointing at the door. Is there a subliminal message for the Congress?
I think he's also leaving the Congress.
Yeah, seems like it. But thank you, everybody, and bye.
Bye.